Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam IPJ KTHO kelas pertama 2025. Salam IPG Peneraju Pendidikan Guru Bertaraf Dunia. Salam Malaysia Madani and a very good evening to everyone. The Honourable Encik Muhammad Hamiduddin bin Abu Bakar, Director of IPG Campus Tun Mesin On. The Honourable Dr. Muhammad Zaidi bin Hussein, Deputy Director of IPG Campus Tun Mesin On. The esteemed Cik Neni Johara binti Johari, Head of Department English Language Department, IPG Campus Tulisin On. The respected Cik Zulnazmi bin Muhammad Zawi, Course Coordinator English Language Department, IPG Campus Tulisin On. Distinguished speakers, Mr. Hanif bin Nor Azahar, Excellent English Teacher, SK Tengku Mariam, Mr. Haziq bin Hamed, Lecturer, English Language Department, UiTM Lendu, Mr. Ahmad Safwan bin Sulaiman, Lecturer, English Language Department, IPG Campus, Tun Hussein On, and all the hardworking committee members of PISMP TESL Year 2, Semester 1. Welcome to our webinar entitled Evaluating the Efficacy and Challenges of Artificial Intelligence in Educational Systems. On behalf of the organizing committee, I am Harraz bin Hamed Al-Johary, and I will be your moderator for this evening's session. First of all, thank you to all participants for taking the time to join us. This webinar is part of our continuous assessment for the course TSLB 3312 English Language Skills 3, Fulfilling Task 2, under the guidance of Sir Zulnazmi bin Muhammad Zawi. Artificial intelligence, or AI, has become one of the most influential forces shaping education today, transforming how we teach, learn, and assess students' performance. Artificial intelligence in education involves the application of intelligent computer systems to enhance teaching and learning processes. It enables personalized learning, automates administrative tasks, and provides data-driven insights to support effective instruction. Through adaptive platforms, intelligent tutoring systems, and automatic feedback tools, AI facilitates more efficient and inclusive learning experiences. However, issues such as data privacy, teacher readiness, and equitable access must be addressed to ensure its responsible and sustainable integration in education. In this webinar, we will explore three important aspects, namely the role of AI in education, the challenges and opportunities in using AI, and finally, the future of AI in teaching. We are honored to have three distinguished speakers with us, each bringing valuable perspectives and experiences in the field of English language education as well as technology integration. Without further ado, let us begin our first session. Now, let us welcome our first distinguished speaker, Mr. Hanif bin Nor Azahar. Mr. Hanif holds a Master of Education in Teaching English as a Second Language from Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia and a Bachelor of Education from Institut Perguruan Temenggung Ibrahim and currently a Guru Cemerlang at SK Tengku Mariam, Batu Pahat, Johor. With a strong academic background and passion for language education, Mr. Hanif brings valuable insights into effective English language teaching and learning. Let's give a warm virtual welcome to Mr. Hanif bin Nor Azahar. In this session, Encik Hanif will be sharing insights on the role of AI in education, focusing on how artificial intelligence can enhance teaching and learning in classrooms today. You may begin, Mr. Hanif.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good evening to everyone. My utmost respect to fellow speakers, administrations coming from IPGM Campus, Tunisian on Batu Pahat, Johor, dear teachers, and of course our viewers tonight. Um, uh, First of all, I would like to thank IPGM Campus Tunisian on Batu Pahat for inviting me today, and of course, I'm so happy to be with you all. Welcome to my slot, and today I would like to focus more on about AI in action, practical tools to enhance English lessons. Well, in general, tonight we are going to explore how basically yeah, artificial intelligence can transform our English classrooms, making learning smarter, faster, and yes, a lot more exciting. Okay, well, my name is Hanif bin Nor Azahar from Batu Pahat, Johor. And again, I'm so happy to be with you all tonight. Anyway, I'm so nervous. Practically after so many years doing webinar, and I'm back here again. Thank you again, IPGM Kampus Tunisia, for inviting me. Well, let's talk about our objectives today. By the end of this session, I really hope that you'll be able to reflect on how AI can really support the four language skills, listening, speaking, reading, and writing, plus grammar and vocabulary, and identify at least three practical AI tools that you can start using in your own classroom immediately after the session, or maybe for Guru Practicum for your practicum session. That will be short and sweet, and I hope by the end of this session you can actually say that yes, we can do this together by using AI. Now, let's start with the big question: why AI? As you all know, our students are growing up in the AI area. They talk to Siri, ask ChatGPT for homework help, and use Google Translate more than just as a dictionary. So, as English teachers, we do need to bring that world into our classroom, not fight it, but support it and bring it together so that it will help us, to guide our students on how to use AI effectively. AI doesn't replace us, I believe that, but it reinforces us as teachers. And I personally believe that, AI could personalize learning, reduce our workload, and give every student a voice, even the shy ones at the back, by using AI. Well, as you can see, I highlight about three main reasons why AI is really a game changer in English teaching. Number one, AI adapts to each student's pace. I believe that no more one size fits all lesson. It's all about personalized learning, using AI. And then students can get corrections right away. You don't need to wait for us teachers, to get the red pen and write, feedbacks. It's just an instant feedback and creative lesson support. Teachers can create quizzes, stories, or even poems in just few seconds, songs in just few seconds using AI. So imagine this: you type, create a short story using 10 adjectives, and boom. So AI gives you a story just for your lesson, and that's why we must be able to learn how to use AI creatively and safely. Well, coming to the next question, how do you use it meaningfully? In this practical session, we'll go skill by skill, looking into listening, speaking, reading, and writing, plus grammar and vocabulary. And I'll show you some real tools that you can really explore after this webinar. Okay, let's begin with the first one. It's about listening. Well, now I'm sure that many of us have faced this in class. You play an audio clip, and 5 seconds in, your students just their faces start to blur. Some can't really catch the words. Others would say that teacher is too fast, and by the end, only one or two manage to really answer. That's because I believe that listening is one of the toughest skill to teach. Listening requires different accents, fast speech, and unfamiliar words, and all these can really confuse our learners and affect their confidence. But AI tools can really make listening more real, engaging, and personalized. So how do we overcome this problem? One of the AI tools that you can really use is actually Supertone, my favorite voice tool for listening lessons, because you have so many AI actor voices in this practical website, and it's free. Supertone can create natural and expressive voices. It has many real tones, emotions, and rhythms. So instead of just using flat or robotic audio clips, or maybe audio clips coming from the textbook itself, you can really generate voices that sound alive and more natural. And what's interesting is that you can even download your audio as a single file, or create dialogues with multiple voices to make your listening tasks more exciting. So instead of just, let's listen to track 3 from CD number 1 or from CD number 2, you can, let's listen to, different characters talking about their favorite movies or books and so on. So you can really try Supertone AI. It's very, very interesting. Okay, I'm just going to show you how to just maneuver using this Supertone AI. It's very fun. You can see over here, you can create project and it's free. As you can see over here, yeah, I'm doing this one for two voices. Over here is a female voice, and over here is a male voice. So practically, you can also control the pitch and the speed. So in case if you are facing with students coming from sorry, yeah, okay, sorry. Okay, yeah, okay. Now I'm sharing the slide. Okay.
Wow, your house looks so cozy. Did you decorate it yourself?
So practically over here using Supertone, you can adjust to the speed. In case if you have low progress learner, you can really control the speed so that they will have, more time to listen to the audios over here. So yes, you can download it as a single file or, as a conversation file, and it's free for everyone. You can also clone your voice in this Supertone. Okay, so you can use your own voices and your students can listen to your own voices with different accents over here. You can see over here, there are so many voices that you can choose from, okay, coming from different characters and personalities of voices. So it's very interesting to use the Supertone AI, instead of just using coming from CD and so on. Next one is actually my favorite also. It's called Youglish. It's a very fantastic free tool for authentic listening because you can just type any English word. For example, you just type environment, and this practical website Youglish instantly finds real YouTube clips of native speakers using that word in context. So your students get to hear how English sounds naturally and not just from a textbook. So let's just take a look at Youglish. So for example, you want to have the word environment. So
pollutes the environment and separates us from other people.
Yes, so it gives you the real situation on how the word is being used naturally by speakers. You can also listen, you can also see the definition, phonetic, and tips to improve on how to pronounce environment correctly. So yeah, Youglish is very interesting to be used with your students and of course among teachers. Okay, another thing that I would like to really use when using AI to teach listening is actually Edpuzzle, where Edpuzzle turns any video into an interactive listening task. By adding questions. So at a practical certain period of time, you can actually pause the video, or the video is being paused, and it will direct to the students to any questions where they have to answer the questions that pop up at that right practical moment. So, and then they will also get instant feedback. So not just that, Edpuzzle also allows teachers to track who watched, who skipped, and who really listened to the video. So it's not just about listening to the video and finally they have to answer, but they really have to answer but they have really to listen to the video and answer to any pop-up questions coming from the video at the practical time. So it will be very interactive. So for example, for this one, we have a video about the dinosaur who discovered hamburgers. So at this time, and you can see the timeline over here. At 1 minute and 4 seconds, a multiple choice question will pop out. So like this one, what was the oddly shaped fruit? What is bread, muffin, sandwich, or marshmallow? So they have to answer not just after watching the videos, but while watching the video. So it's very interesting because it really encourages active listening to our students. Well, let's go to speaking. Many of our students, they can write beautiful essays or maybe short essays, but when we ask them to speak, and suddenly they freeze. They whisper, "Teacher, malula," or "My English is broken. I'm not good in English," and so on. the truth is, I believe that speaking requires confidence, fluency, and lots of practice. But let's just be real, in a classroom of 30 to 40 students, it's almost impossible to give everyone equal speaking time. And that's why I believe AI tools can help us by giving students 24-hour speaking partners that don't judge, they don't laugh, and they don't get tired, because we do get tired. Teachers do get tired after so many hours of teaching in a classroom. So, what are the AI tools that students can use? I really love this. Really, really love this. Okay, it's Speak and Improve by the University of Cambridge. It's built by University of Cambridge to help students to improve their speaking. It's a free AI website where students can practice speaking in real time. They simply speak to the system, and the system itself listens carefully, just like a real examiner, and then it gives not just instant feedback on pronunciation, fluency, and even content, but also assign CFR level from A1 to C2. So this tool is perfect to, for our students to do their own self-practice, or exam prep, or even speaking assessment. So you can see over here, students will get to answer questions. Students will get to record their own voices answering questions. And then the system will grade them whether they are in which level of CFR. So it's very interesting for teachers and for students themselves to use to improve their speaking. And there are lots of topics that this system covers, not just about personal self, talking about neighbors, talking about favorite food, movies, books, and so on. Yeah, so it's practically very interesting to use. Next one, I would like to focus more on speakometer. Speaking is not just about content and fluency, but we are also looking into pronunciation and enunciation, or the clarity. So Speakometer is a free mobile app. It's not an open website-based AI, but it's a free mobile app, that acts like a pronunciation coach for our students. The students, they just have to say a word or sentence, and the app listens, analyzes, and gives instant feedback on how to really improve their pronunciation and enunciation. I believe that this is a powerful tool for young learners, because they often mix up sounds like sheep and sheep, or rice and lice. So that also means, I believe that Speakometer is perfect for slower or shy learners, or maybe low proficient learners. It gives them time to practice at their own pace, without having any pressure. As you can see over here, there are more than, like, for the first slot, you have top 200 English words, top 2,000 English words, part 1, long and short vowels, voice and voiceless consonants. They can practice all these words and pronunciation. So definitely they can repeat, replay, and record as many times as they want until they feel confident and clear. So that would be very interesting for students, to learn on their own pace. Next one is actually Gemini Live. It's the new feature from Gemini. It's called Gemini Live. Okay, as you know that ChatGPT has also voice assistant, and here we go. We have Gemini Live. Why do I stress on Gemini? Because if you are using MOE Delima account, teachers and students, they can access Gemini Live for free. Instead of ChatGPT, they have to pay like 80 ringgit per month. But using Gemini app and Gemini Live through the MOE Delima account, students and teachers using MOE can access Gemini Live for free. Okay, what's interesting about Gemini Live is that it is an AI voice assistant that allows students to have real-time spoken conversations with AI, just like chatting with a fluent English friend, that can speak any accents. So it helps them to practice speaking naturally, improve fluency, and build confidence through real dialogues with the AI themselves. Let's just take a look at real example here.
Just ask it to help you study. Just talk normally.
Okay, I can see the image now. What would you like me to help with?
Can you help me study this?
Happy to. Let's start. What are mutations?
I don't know. Can you explain it in a simple way?
No problem. Imagine your body's instructions are all stored in the giant cookbook called DNA. Mutations are like typos in that cookbook.
Wow. Why couldn't my textbook say it like that? This is gonna make tomorrow's final breeze.
Yeah, students can talk anything about everyday topics like ordering food, traveling, or maybe introducing themselves to Gemini, and Gemini will respond instantly with realistic voice, as you can see from the video. And students will also get to choose, what type of voices do you want them to reply, whether it's a male voice, whether a female voice, whether it's a deep voice, whether it's a bright voice. It's all up to you. And again, no need to pay for premium access or any subscriptions. It's free. Okay, now let's talk about reading. Okay, we do know that students will always respond that reading is boring, reading is not interesting. But I do know that they just find it hard to really understand or keep up with the reading, because some students, they do struggle with comprehension, and some with the vocabulary, and others simply lose interest halfway through a paragraph, because they feel like reading is just based on using books only. And we do understand that our students have different reading levels, so one text practically doesn't fit all. What I mean is that particular textbook that provided to school doesn't fit to all, although we have to use it, but it doesn't fit to all. So how to make it, the textbook itself or reading, to be more personalized, interactive, and fun? Definitely you can use AI. Now let's talk about Microsoft Reading Coach. Okay, this is the first on the reading list. Okay, it's not just a reading app. Practically, it's a complete AI reading companion that supports students at every level and different needs and problems. Microsoft Reading Coach, it listens as they read aloud, gives instant feedback on not just fluency but also pronunciation stuff, and even highlight words that need improvement. And students, what's interesting about this is actually students can choose any reading passage. Okay, they can choose any stories from a collection of level texts coming from level 1 up to level 8. Okay, and even create their own stories using the built-in AI writer. So this keeps reading fresh and exciting, because every learner gets to pick or build their own stories, or gets to pick their own stories that they like, or build something that matches to their own interest and ability of reading. So from the teacher side, you can also see their results. Okay, the reading progress and achievements, how many words have they practiced, their fluency growth, and the reading accuracy over the time. So it's very interesting to be used with your students, because it's part of our MOE account. So yes, Microsoft Education Ecosystem, it's part of our MOE account. So again, it's free for teachers and students. Now, let's talk about the next one, which I really love. It's called Vooks. Okay, Vooks turns storybooks into beautiful animated read aloud videos, combining text, voices, visuals, animations to make the stories come alive. Because as what I have mentioned earlier, some students, they believe that reading from the book is just boring, so it's just like a standard procedure that you are doing in a classroom. So why not bring books into the classroom, not just looking into the text, but comes together with voices, sounds, music, visuals, and so many interesting features. Books recently introduced an audio only mode. Okay, yeah, as you can see from the slide over here. Okay, Books, the kids can just pick any stories that they like, and Books is just like using an adaptive system, just like Netflix. So it's a Netflix for books, where you can watch and continue where you have left before. Okay, and this is actually an example of Books over here. Okay, recently they just released a new mode, an audio only mode, audios, where students will have to listen only. So practically, it does not only help on listening, reading, but it also helps for listening as well. Okay, now what's interesting is that this practical website for AI, using AI, also comes together with worksheets because reading also comes together with comprehension. So yes, you can download the comprehension worksheets. You can use the worksheet with your students, and the worksheets come together with all stories coming from the books. Now, here's my favorite part where, books offer a new feature. It's called Storyteller Beta. Storyteller Beta. Well, the Storyteller Beta, this mode practically allows students to narrate the story by using the illustrations and the animations provided. So instead of just reading stories, the students can now become storytellers themselves by recording their own voices, so that they can use the stories. Let me just show you a few steps over here. Hold on here. So this is how it operates. So yes, there's one. So for this beta mode, Storyteller Beta mode, it allows students to record their own voices, and then it will automatically add the student's voice or the student's narration into the video without the students having the need to edit the video on their own or to adjust the animations and so on. So it's very interesting. So let's just click and start recording and see how it goes. Happy Halloween. Story by Janet Lawler. Boo! It's Halloween. What a Gonzilla scene. So you can save over here, and then it will have to put their voices, our own narrations, and store and our own voices into the story. So it's very interesting to use with your students. Okay, next one is about Google Read Along. Again, I would like to highlight on this one AI because, as I said earlier before, you can use a MOE account and it's free. It's a wonderful app that makes reading feel like having a friendly English coach, because this Google Read Along, it features an AI reading buddy. It has a buddy over here. It's called Dia. She's called Dia, okay, who listens carefully as students read aloud. And if a student mispronounce any words, compared to books and Microsoft Reading Coach, okay, Dia, this practical AI reading buddy, okay, will gently correct the students right away, on how to pronounce any words correctly. So, and each time the students read successfully, Dia will cheer them on with positive feedback and give stars and points. And you can try opening this using your MOE account. It's fun to use. Now let's move on to writing. We all know these feelings, when you give them writing tasks and 5 minutes later, the student will say, "Teacher, I don't know how to start." Writing is hard. Writing is hard because it requires ideas, grammar, organization, and creativity all at once. And of course, many students struggle to structure their thoughts or repeat the same simple words because lack of vocabulary. And let's just be real again, giving an individual feedback on every essay can take hours. So that's why AI tools are actually a blessing for me as teachers, because I really can guide and correct the students to write better and faster. Okay, now my favorite AI tool to use to teach writing is actually Write and Improve. Again, it's from the University of Cambridge. It's a free AI writing platform. Trust me, it's free. You can just log in and sign up, create a new profile. It's an AI writing platform where students can type their essays, whether short paragraphs, emails, or even exam style of writing tasks. and they can actually get instant feedback within seconds. The system highlights grammar mistakes, the grammar mistakes, spelling errors, and any sentence structures issue. And it also gives them a CFR level, from A1 to C2. So the students can see their level, okay, improve as they rewrite and refine their work, because the students can, try as many as they want, okay, with the test provided over here. And the tasks are being updated from time to time. So it's very fun to use with your students. Okay, another AI that I really love to use with my students is actually using Defit. It's an AI to teach writing. It's very fun because it's a powerful tool AI where you can paste any passage, and Defit can automatically create discussions, questions, writing tasks, summaries at multiple CFR levels for teachers, whether it's through digital mode or through physical mode where you can print the worksheet. So it's very interesting to use Defit. And looking into grammar and vocabulary, my last part is actually using Twig. Twig, it's so much interesting that I use this daily in my classroom to produce any grammar, vocabulary, and not just grammar and vocabulary, as you can see over here. It also encompasses reading, writing, speaking, and listening. It provides lots of activities using AI, and trust me, it's fantastic. It's really fantastic that you can adapt and adopt the materials provided by Twig, to use with your students. Okay, another AI open website that you can use to teach grammar and vocabulary is actually Get Epic. Again, if you are using Get Epic using MOE account, you can get it for free. Okay, just like Vooks. Sorry, I forgot to mention that Vooks also is supported by MOE account. So if you use MOE account, you can get Vooks for free. Okay, you can use Vooks for free, and it goes the same way also for Get Epic. What's interesting about Get Epic is actually it not just cover English to say, okay, but also it covers different subjects across different principles of learning over here, as you can see. And definitely it helps to improve grammar and vocabulary because it provides meaning, it provides ways to use, grammar rules will also be explained using Get Epic. So it's very interesting. And that will be all from me. Over to you, our moderator. Or do I have any Q&A session right away? Thank you, Nur Afika. Binti Safwan. Thank you, Waving. Daniel, thank you.
Mr. Hanif, we will now let the audience bring their questions forward.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Hello, Jeffrey, Nakudin. I can see you over here, Badaria, Sofia. Yep, waving at me. Thank you, Nurul Hanani. Waalaikumsalam. May Isabel, Patricia, Anissa, Prayat. Well, in case if you have any problems, you feel like you need to ask me, you need to have more personal guidance on how to use these AI tools, definitely you can contact me. Maybe you can project my slide, if it's okay, Harraz, through my Facebook or through my Telegram account.
Yes, Mr. Hanif.
Sorry, Harraz?
We have a question from the audience.
Okay.
How did you find you let the question speak?
Sorry?
one of our audience, they
Yep.
asked whether how could they find various apps that you have mentioned before, the alternatives of these apps. How did you discover them so that they could also find these apps?
Okay. First, how did I discover all these AI platforms or AI tools? Definitely through research, and through different, many. Uh, how would I say this? Through research, of course, through group discussions with my fellow teachers. And of course, we do have a group called Guru Adiwira Digital Negeri Johor, where these teachers, they do share AI tools with other teachers, and definitely you can also access my Telegram channel. It's called Mr. Hanif's Classroom. And you can also access any different AI tools and platforms that you can see that what I have shown to you all. And Harraz, maybe I'll share to you the link. And Harraz, maybe I'll share to you the link to my slide so that they can discover later.
All right. I will share with the rest of the audience your links after this.
Sure. And Harraz, can you just project to my slide, because I think I have given a link to my Facebook and as well as my Telegram, so you can actually contact me later to get the links to all the AI tools that I have mentioned before.
Okay, as seen on the screen, here is the links to Mr. Hanif socials, where you could find various materials there. We also open other questions from the audience.
I have a question for you, Mr. Hanif.
Yep, sure.
Okay. As AI become more integrated into the classroom, like how do we ensure that it it amplify human connection between teachers and students rather than replacing it?
Yeah. Thank you for the question. It's a very interesting question, because that's the problem with AI. Whether we are using it fully to teach in the classroom, or whether we are using it fully to replace our tasks fully into the lesson preparation. Not just by building the lesson plan itself, but building the materials and controlling the students and so on. For myself, there are different lines and guidelines. You can see many different guidelines offered, and explained by experts on how to use AI practically and how to use AI meaningfully in the classroom. For me personally, when it comes to AI, we are looking into two perspectives: one coming from the teacher and coming from the students. Coming from the teacher, definitely you are using AI to help you enhance teaching and learning process, to help you prepare better lessons in terms of preparing lesson plans, in terms of preparing materials, assessing our students. Those are the tools that you can use to really enhance your teaching. But when it comes to students, we really need to have a clear guideline, on how students can really use AI in the classroom. So whenever I use AI with the classroom with my students, we always have the golden rule that we do understand that AI is only an assistant to you, and it does not really guide you as the master of the classroom. I am still the teacher, and the students use AI as an assistant. That's the golden rule that I always use with my students. No matter what you use, whether it's ChatGPT, whether Gemini, do not use this as a solely reference in the classroom, but also use it as an assistant in the classroom. And yeah, you cannot always control all students into really obey to the rule. But over the time, we do have to use ChatGPT or Gemini or any AI tools, because I believe that will be their future. And not to bring it in the classroom, for me, it's somehow does not correlate to our education system vision that we are prepping our students for future career. And I do believe, to answer that question practically for myself as a student, as a teacher in the classroom, always set the golden rule that we always believe and use AI, be it whether any AI tools, just an assistant only, and not just as the only sole reference in the classroom. Yeah, I believe the second speaker and the third speaker will also talk about this. And yeah, that will be all from me coming from a teacher. I hope that answers to your question.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hanif, for your time and very beneficial sharing. Indeed, AI tools, such as those that you have mentioned before, have transformed classroom dynamics today. We will now proceed to session two from the next speaker. And let me share. Okay. Let me introduce the second speaker. We are honored to have Mr. Haziq bin Hamed from English Language Department, UiTM Lendu. He holds both his master's and bachelor's degree from University Kebangsaan Malaysia and currently teaches several English proficiency and communication courses. With his expertise and commitment to improving communicative competence among students, Mr. Haziq continues to inspire learners to develop confidence in using English effectively. In this session, Mr. Haziq will discuss the current challenges teachers face in implementing AI-based tools, as well as the opportunities that AI brings for more inclusive and personalized education.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Assalamualaikum and good evening to fellow educators and our students and viewers today. So I believe Mr. Hanif already covered very in-depth regarding the usage of AI in a very, according to the skills, language skills mentioned. So as for me, being a university lecturer, I'll be going through the narrative of an educator in a general sense, in a broader sense, basically. Okay, so first we're going to talk about the challenges of using AI in English language teaching. Okay, next. The previous slide. Okay, so now the problem if using AI for now is in terms of accuracy and reliability. Okay, so an AI may produce inaccurate or misleading language feedback. Now, students might accept the incorrect grammar or phrasing as correct. Okay, for example, let's say a checkbox can generate fluent but certainly wrong English. Okay, they may provide incorrect grammar, translations, or writing suggestions. For example, let's say a student were to write, "He go to school yesterday." Okay, and the AI grammar tool like Grammarly, for example, incorrectly suggests he goes to school yesterday instead of the correct, he went to school yesterday. So these misleading corrections, right, can reinforce errors if the teacher does not review them. Just like Mr. Hanif mentioned previously, the AI here is not to replace you as a teacher or any other educators. An AI is just a tool, okay, a tool to make your life easier, faster, okay? So it's not to replace you. So you still need your background knowledge regarding whatever field that you are teaching, whether it might be language, history, or whatnot, or mathematics. You still need your knowledge, background knowledge, in order for you to utilize the tool properly. Okay, you cannot rely on it 100%. You still have to check. Okay, next we have the second problem. Okay, next slide. Over-dependence by students. So now some students, right, they may be relying too much on AI tools such as Grammarly or ChatGPT, for example. Okay, so when they rely too much on these types of tools, right, what will happen is that it'll reduce their independent thinking and their authentic language use. So for example, let's say if they want to write an essay, right, instead of coming up with their own ideas, what they do is they just prompt the information that needed. Like for example, write me an essay about open burning, for example. Okay, so what's going to happen is that the student will lose their authenticity or their independent thinking, basically, because they're going to rely too much on AI tools. Okay, so an AI tools are actually supposed to help you find the information faster, okay, check your grammar, but it's not for you to generate out of nothing, basically. Okay, you still have to have an effort. So you have to be careful when your students using too much AI tools. So like in university, what we do is, yes, for exercises, we do have them doing homework, right? However, our assessment are always in class assessment. So therefore, even if they were to use chat GPTs and whatnot, so during the test, it was going to be physical, the traditional pen and paper. So in that way, they are, in my situation, my students, what I've taught them is that they can use that as a tool, but not to use it to write their own essays and whatnot. Okay, because at the end of the day, they still have to use their own creativity, their own independent thinking to write a proper essay. Okay, all right. So next slide. Ethical and academic integrity concerns. I suppose maybe in a school level, it's not going to be as severe as university. All right, but if one day, whether it's you as a teacher as well, maybe you're going to further your study and whatnot. So you're going to use ChatGPT. So you also might come across this issue regarding ethical and academic integrity concern. Okay, so you need to realize that when you generate essay using AI without understanding, it raises issues such as fairness and authenticity issues in the assessment. Okay, so an AI in a way can facilitate plagiarism or reduce creativity because you are just merely depending on the AI to do everything for you. Okay, so if students use ChatGPT to generate full essays without modification, submitting as their own work, teachers must design assignments to encourage original thinking. So, for your information, in our university, we are also encountering this problem ever since about 2 years ago. Okay, so we have this called creative writing. So what happened was the students were given the chance to write creative writing on their at college, right? Take home assignment basically. So what happened was we found that a lot of them actually use ChatGPT to generate their work basically. So right now we are implementing safeguards, okay, ways to ensure that we are able to detect them using this. We already be able to attack to determine whether they're using ChatGPT or not, or any other AI tool. But the problem lies with whether or not we should penalize them, because we don't have yet at that time a strict guideline. So this is an issue that is going to be a concern, not just for university but also for school level as well. Because if you happen to have homework or something like that, and what happens if your student use ChatGPT or any other AI to produce a writing? Okay, so if you're a seasoned educator, you can actually tell just by reading the essay that this essay is not their original work. But if you are new teachers, new lecturers and whatnot, you can use softwares like Turnitin, right, in order for you to check their plagiarism. Okay, so you have to be careful, not just university level but school level. So you have to be careful that students are now smart. Okay, they are able to do things faster, quicker using AI. But this lies a problem in terms of over relying as well as ethical and integrity reason. Okay, let's look at the next one. Next slide. Okay, data privacy and security. Now, this is something that is an issue as well for all walks of life, basically. Okay, now when you're using AI, right? So sometimes they will collect data from you, okay, from the students, from the teachers. Also, sometimes if you were to, not only for teaching, but if you want to for data management, if you were to rely on AI, so those data are actually stored by those AI companies. Okay, so you may have a violation of privacy if you were to use AI. Okay, so you need to be careful on this. Maybe only rely on certain certain data. Not all data should be used for AI because it might be compromised. Okay, all right. So especially for free AI, they usually have very lacking in terms of privacy policies. Okay, so institution must ensure data protection and compliance. So AI platform collects sensitive student data, or could it be from the educational side as well, from the educator side. Okay. All right. So another thing, just besides the information, they could also collect your voice recording. So this would also be a safety issue, because nowadays we have a lot of safety system using voice recognition, right? So if you were to share your voice on AI, so they may misuse this information. So you may have a breach in your security or misuse. Okay, sometimes they may just store it. They won't use it, but sometimes there's a human element there where they can misuse it. Okay, right. Let's look at the next one. Next slide. Digital literacy gaps. Now, AI is a wonderful thing. Okay, it enhances learning. Okay, you are getting better and better. But the problem is in terms of literacy gap. Okay, so there are some limitation here. Okay, in terms of the literacy by the teachers and the students. Some teachers still do not know how to use a lot of AI softwares or tools, and also students are also not aware of this. Okay, so this could occur due to the limitations of understanding AI limitation. So lack of institutional training and support. Okay, teachers may not be trained to integrate AI effectively into lessons. So this is something that our educational institution might, consider into implementing AI into your learning. Okay, so a lecturer introduces ChatGPT-based writing prompts, but isn't trained to guide students on ethical AI use or assesses AI-assisted work properly, leading to confusion. So meaning that maybe a teacher or lecturer is teaching them to use AI, but the teacher or the lecturer forgot to tell the students about the ethical use of AI, meaning that they are going to use AI for the wrong reasons, or maybe like what I mentioned previously, they are going to use AI to do a complete essay without their original or independent thoughts, basically. So that can raise a lot of problems. Okay. And also, one more thing about AI is that for you to get a good outcome, okay, or good product, you must use a good prompt. The more specific, the more clear the prompt is, the better the result would be. Okay, so like for example, let's say give me the percentage data of population in Malaysia. Okay, so you give that number, but you did not give a proper prompt. For example, like the year. Which year are we talking about? Now, for most of you guys, AI, right, is very limited. Usually, they would have at most 1 year of latest information. That means 2024 data. Okay, so they wouldn't have any data from 2025. So if you want the updated data, if it's available, you in the prompt section, you have to put in, give me a gender ratio based on 2025. If you give a month, it's even better. Okay, you have to be specific. How you prompt it, has to be specific so that you get a better outcome and output, a better output. Okay. Remember, for example, maybe you want to talk about gender, not just the gender only. Maybe it has to be a specific race. So put in the race. Okay. Then there are many other factors that you have to put in as well. Okay. Based on what you're searching for, if the data. Okay. Next, let's go to the next part. Okay, equity and accessibility. Now this is a problem, right? We still have this problem in Malaysia, whereby we still have unequal access to internet or AI tools. So if, let's say, someone from JB, for example, they are going to use a lot of AI because they have high internet and so on. However, people from maybe Gua Musang maybe may not have that much of access. Okay, so what happens is that because of this because of this unequal resources allocation, so there's going to be creating gaps between the urban and rural learners. Okay, so the ones who are at the rural side will be left out because they are not able to access AI or high internet and so on. Okay, another challenge is not just because of the urban and the rural part, also because of financial as well. Some softwares requires you to subscribe. Okay, so you have to have money. So that's why the suggestion made by the previous speaker, Mr. Hanif, was excellent. All of his tools were free, if provided you have the MOE account, right? So you should make use of that. You can take his suggestion in order for you to implement those in your teaching. Okay. All right. Okay. Can we go next? Next slide. Okay. The pedagogical integration challenges. Now, when you are a teacher later on, you have to make sure that the integration of AI tools in curriculum and assessment actually meets your goals. okay, your PLO and your PEO, okay, program learning outcome, okay. So it may conflict with the communicative or task-based teaching. So you need to see whether this AI can actually be integrated properly. Okay, so this requires planning and experimentation. You have to experiment, so it requires a lot of time. Okay, just because something is good, you cannot simply implement it then and there. Okay, you need to do studies whether it's effective or not. So sometimes a good technology may not necessarily bring good outcome, right? Like right now, there are usage of smart tablets, right, in schools, right? But that could also bring some problems as well, right? So you have to see whether does it meet your learning outcome or not. Okay, all right. Okay, next. Okay, teacher identity and role changes. So basically, AI tools here, you have to remember, like what Mr. Hanif said, it's not to replace you. Okay, it's merely a tool to make your life easier, faster. Okay, so your role as a teacher, right, is to actually become the facilitator or AI guide. Okay, so your job is to make use of AI for your teaching. Okay, and an AI cannot replace a teacher totally. Okay, because there are many reasons why. Okay, one of it is an AI cannot detect emotions, right? If you see some of your students having a hard time, you can't actually expect an AI to do that. Okay, so there are still roles that cannot be filled by AI, and yet there are many roles by teachers that have already been filled by AI. So what you do is you make use of it, not to replace teachers, but it's actually to enhance the teachers basically. Okay, next. Okay, language and cultural bias. Now, I mentioned just now, and I cannot replace the teacher, right? This is because there are problems regarding to language and cultural bias. Now, an AI, how does it work? Basically, it actually learns from data input. Okay, so at the moment right now, a lot of the data input are mostly from Western-centric English data. So they are trained by Western-centric English data, meaning what? Meaning that they do not have sufficient, or they may ignore global English varieties, for example, like Malaysian English. Okay, so what will happen is that it is reinforcing certain cultural norms. Okay, and I cannot fully understand the cultural nuances, sarcasm, or emotional tone. Imagine if we were to read literature from our Malay writers, right? So what we have in Malaysian, not just Malays, but Malaysian culture is that, for example, our parents back then, they are more sarcastic, right? Like for example, let's say if I were to say it in Malay, right? The scenario is a boy climbing a tree and then fell down. So some parents back then, what they would do is that they will be sarcastic in their tone, right? For example, okay, panjat lagi, bagus, panjat lagi, jatuh. Jatuh, bangun lagi, bangun. So it's like they are being sarcastic, right? So if you were to translate that, literal translation into an English literature, right? What would happen is that the AI cannot detect the sarcasm tone, basically. Okay? Also, for example, here, during a conversation practice with ChatGPT, a student uses idiom, kick the bucket. So an AI may not interpret correctly. They may interpret literally, okay, rather than understanding the meaning, which is it means to die, right? But instead, it may think that the kick the bucket is a literal action. So it may potentially confuse the learner. So there are some limitations. At the moment, there are a lot of limitations with ChatGPT or any other AI softwares right now. So you have to, as a teacher or a lecturer, you have to look into whatever the output of the AI, and then you have to determine whether it is in the correct context or not. Okay, you cannot rely it 100% on it too much. You still have to have a human role there to check and balance the AI output. Okay. All right, next. Okay, so this is a summary of the challenges that we have regarding using AI. Number one is accuracy and reliability issues. All right, and AI right now may not be accurate, especially when I told you before that AI, the latest information they have is usually a year before. So let's say we are in 2025, the data that they have right now is all from 2024. If you need to have data from 2025, your prompt of using the AI tool has to be specific. Mention the year 2025. So when that happens, the AI will not get the information from the collection of data that they have. Instead, what they will do is they will actually search the search engine like Google and whatnot to find those information. And even then, those information may not be updated or correct. You have to check whether the information is reliable or not. Okay. Number two, again, student over dependence. Okay, if students are using too much AI, so that may cause them not to use their independent thinking. Okay, their original ideas and whatnot. Ethical and integrity concerns related to that as well. So since they are using AI only, so whatever they publish may not be their own right to publish or to even use for any purpose. Okay, and then you have the data privacy and security issue, right? Whatever you input in the AI, they may store the information and they may misuse the information. Okay, digital literacy gaps. Okay, in terms of the teachers, lecturers, and students, they may not be able to use it fully because they are still lacking in understanding of AI usage. Okay, equity and accessibility. Again, you know, if you have from the different areas, rural and urban, that would cause equity and accessibility issue. Okay, they may not be balanced. The pedagogical alignment. Okay, so this one is something that you have to worry once you're becoming a teacher. See whether it can be integrated in your syllabus or your program or whatnot, or your so we have to look at that. Teacher identity shifts. Again, I have to remind you again, like what Mr. Hanif said, this is actually a tool, not to replace you. Okay, you are the operator in a sense of word. Okay, you are the operator. You are going to check whether the output of the AI is correct or not. Okay, you cannot rely 100% on that. Cultural and linguistic bias, there's a problem with AI. Okay, so the information that they're getting in, the data that they are learning from are mostly from Western-centric areas, right? Western-centric, because it's from Western areas mostly. Okay, not from Asia. So some of the topic may not be accurate or it may be biased because of the data that they're receiving. Okay, like for us, we are talking outside of education aspect. We're talking about medicine, for example. So the Asian, we still have some Asian medicines that even the West would actually use because it's superior to the West medicine in some aspect. But if you were to rely on AI, if you search for it, then they will probably discourage using some of those Asian medicine, focusing more on Western because of the data that they gotten from their learning, okay, are from mostly Western countries. So they are a bit Western centric. Okay, so let's go quickly with my second slide here regarding the opportunities. We'll go through it quickly because most of it has already been covered by Mr. Hanif, but I'm just going through in terms of generally. Okay, all right, go to the next slide. Okay, so again, like Mr. Hanif said, the benefit or the opportunities of AI is personalized learning. A teacher cannot 100% teach everyone the same way, the same method, the same approach. Okay, we can do our best teaching, but in the end, a person who wants to learn a language, they have to take the initiative of learning extra on their own. So if there are any weaknesses or pacing issue regarding class, what they can overcome those problems using AI. Okay, they can using the AI. So some of the tools are like Duolingo, right? Adapts lesson based on learner's progress, basically. And we have linguists here as well. Okay, you can Google the names of the AI so you can search for it. Okay, how to use it. Okay, next, we go to the next slide quickly. Instant feedback and assessment. Okay, so if you use an AI, you can get the feedback quickly, right? If you have a student and your student would like to ask you a question in the middle of the night at 9 p.m., right? Of course, there's going to be a limitation there. You as a teacher also, you have your own life, right? You have a personal life and you have a professional life. You have to separate that. So these kind of students, if they want to have quick instant feedback learning, so they can use AI to check for their grammar, like Grammarly. They can use Grammarly to check for their grammar, okay? Whatever they type and so on, right? They're making sentences or making essays, they can use Grammarly to check their grammar, tone, and style, okay? So they can also use Turnitin. This one is most probably just for a higher level, for university level, right? To check whether they have the high percentage of plagiarism or not. Okay. All right. Okay. Next, go to next slide. Okay, enhanced pronunciation practice. I believe Mr. Hanif also already recommended an app just now, right? So some of the apps that I'm recommending is for you to enhance pronunciation practice. You can get quick feedback, right? You can use Elsa Speak. It's an AI speech recognition for English pronunciation correction. Okay, SpeechLink, or the easiest one, use Google Speech to Text. Okay, used for pronunciation analysis and fluency tracking. Type out the word and then you can see how it's going to be pronounced correctly. Okay, all right, next. Next slide, please. Interactive and engaging learning. So a lot of AI can be used for to stimulate real conversations. Okay, you can have reading or writing practice with AI. So instead of having to text someone in real life, you can practice texting with an AI. Okay, so you can learn from AI. Okay, all right. So you can stimulate natural conversation for speaking and writing practice, or you can use Replica, having a conversational AI that helps learners practice casual English. Okay, so these are the problems that we have in Malaysia. The problem is our speaking is quite bad compared to other skills because due to the nature of our working environment. Later on, those your students, right? When they go to work, mostly what they'll be focusing more is more on reading and writing. Okay, very less on speaking. There are people who actually gotten to work where they don't have to speak at all, but they have to write and read documents and whatnot, writing emails and whatnot. Okay, so that's why even in our MUET system, the emphasis on speaking is very low because the function is to actually making students prepare for tertiary level, which by tertiary level also preparing them for working level. So working level, speaking is not so much. But if you compare to IELTS, right, or TOEFL, then you'll see that in that setting of assessment, speaking is very important because you have to speak with the natives there. So there's a limitation of our MUET. Is purposely done so because we want to fit the requirement for working and university. Okay, and at the moment right now, speaking is not on the top list at the moment. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Efficient classroom management. So I'm sure you guys must have heard of Google Classroom, right? So they have AI add-ons, Magic School, okay, which automates grading and content suggestion. Or if you want to do exercises, you can use quizzes or Quizlet AI, right? You can generate quizzes automatically from text or topics, okay? Or ClassPoint AI creates questions and submits directly in PowerPoint. So this will save you time basically. Instead of you having to type out traditionally, right? You have to type out the question and whatnot based on the text. You can use these AI tools to actually create questions or quizzes. But again, your role is to check the output of the AI, check whether it is correctly being produced. Maybe there are some errors there. Okay, you cannot trust them 100%. Your role as a teacher is to check. Okay, right, next. Next slide, please. Okay, data-driven insights. Okay, so this one maybe is not going to be related too much with you guys. Okay, but here you can use to identify problem areas and adjust instruction. Okay, so using AI tool like Sentry Tag, you can actually track learning pattern and provide performance analytics. So later on, maybe if you want to do a study, right, you can use AI to make the result. Okay, to show the output of the result. But the problem with AI is it's still not good enough for you to analyze using AI. Okay, you can use the AI for data management. Okay, to display your data that you've collected. But when you want to analyze the data, you still have to analyze using your own mind. Okay, you cannot rely on AI for now. For now, I'm thinking it's still going to take quite a while before AI can actually analyze data. But at the moment right now, AI is still limited in analyzing data. Okay, you still have to analyze on your own. You can use that to manage data, but you cannot analyze it. Okay. All right. Next, I think we're okay. Access to authentic materials. Okay. So Why using AI, all right, you can access to authentic material, you can find articles, videos, or exercise automatically. Okay, you can engage with real world language use. Okay, so you can find appropriate level for text. Now in school, right, you know about CIFAR, right? I don't know whether you guys already learned about CIFAR, Common European Framework, right? I don't know whether you learned about that, but later on when you want to create questions or whatnot, you have to follow the level. I believe it would be A1, right? So this kind of tool can be used to filter out text based on their level, their reading level. Okay, like for my case, university, after some point, the level will be for B2, all the way to B2 and C1. Okay, so in your case, it will not. You don't have C1 in your school level. I mean, you don't expect student to score C1. There may be some who are able to, but at your level, it's probably what, A1 or the A2, right? Okay, so that's what you're going to find texts that are suitable. Because when you find a text from newspaper, for example, even then their text might be a bit too difficult for your student. So you have to find an appropriate level. You can use AI to search for that, to filter that. Okay, and again, the keyword here is your prompt. All right, next. Okay, support for multilingual and inclusive learning. So if you were to learn, if you were to teach students using AI, right, what they can do is they can learn on their own, right, using tools like Google Translate, DeepL for instant text and speech translation. So if they were trying to learn Mandarin, for example, right, and they want to know what kind of characters is used to translate from a particular word, so they can use those kind of tools basically. Okay, or you can use Microsoft Immersive Reader, support text to speech and translation for accessibility. So text can convert to speech, okay? Or you can have those from speech text convert to text. So we already have those kind of tools, right? AI tools to basically to do that actually right now. One of them is Specify, help students with reading difficulty via AI voice narration. We know that everybody way of learning is different. Some people learn through what, auditory, right? Some through visual. So if the person does not like to read, right, instead what can be happen is they can learn through listening, voice narration. Okay, all right, I think move on to the next one. Right, learning availability. This is again that I want to talk about regarding AI tool, is that you are able to use it anytime, anywhere. Okay, so a teacher or even a student can use it anytime, right? They don't have to wait or what. They can use it anytime for them to be able to learn, or for you to find information to teach, right? You can use it anytime. There's no cut-off time basically for it. You can use it anytime. But for better usage, you have to subscribe mostly. Like for example, ChatGPT, you have to subscribe. It's quite expensive actually. So maybe there's one software, Gemini, right? So which Mr. Hanif already mentioned previously. That one is free if you have the MOE account. So you can use that as alternative. It's up to you. Some people like to use ChatGPT. Some people like to use Gemini. It's based on your preference and your resource availability. Okay. All right. So next, I think creativity and motivation. Okay. So you can also use Chat GPT or Gemini, right, or any generative AI tool to create or to generate stories or writing prompts or dialogues, right, for you to do. Okay, for exercises, or maybe you want to use as your learning tools. You can use that actually. Okay, or you can use Canva Magic, right, to create visual content and learning materials quickly. Also, you have Storybird AI or Write Sonic to help students to create stories and poems. Okay, for learning purposes. Okay. All right. So I think we have already mentioned about this. So we want to any key questions? If there's any, I think we already reached the end of our slide. Maybe you can have the moderator take over.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Haziq, for the enlightening session. You have highlighted various and important issues such as data privacy, authenticity, and ethical use of AI, as well as highlighting various opportunities to use AI, all of which are crucial as we move towards digital transformation in education. We will now open the floor for questions and answers.
I have a question for you, Mr. Haziq. Many educators hope AI can reduce their workload. From your experience, how realistic is this, and what kind of support teacher need to make it happen?
Mr. Haziq, your screen is not working. We wait for the speaker, Mr. Haziq, as he resolve his technical issues. Since Mr. Haziq is not here, I will tell you a bit about the coming session. It will be given by Mr. Safwan, a lecturer from IPG. Perhaps the audience could post other questions in the chat also, if they have any.
Right.
Sorry for the
Hello.
wait.
Right.
We now have Mr. Haziq back to answer the
All right.
questions.
Sorry for that internet connection problem. So was there a question just now?
Could we have the previous audience member to repeat the question?
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Many educators hope AI can reduce their workload. From your experience, how realistic is this, and what kind of support do teachers need to make it happen?
I'm sorry, I couldn't get that. How what was it?
How realistic is this,
How
and
realistic? Okay.
what kind of support do teachers need to make it happen?
Well, imagine, if you have to use manually to create questions, right? One by one, that would take so long compared to using AI to generate questions for you, right? All you have to do is just merely check whether the questions are uh, suitable or correct, rather than you have to use manually to create questions. That takes a long time, to do that. and also like designs wise, right? Instead of you having to design a poster, for example, right? You can actually use AI to design a poster for you. So it really saves a lot of your time. And also the most important aspect I feel besides convenient is also making your lesson more interesting, right? Imagine if you have to give like a paper, right? Like the traditional paper, ABC questions, right? So you give the paper to your student and then they answer it. It's quite boring compared to if you use something like quizzes, for example, right? So whereby they have this sort of like a competition. You know, the more you score, the higher you get. So there's a ranking there. So also, of course, it involves interest as well. So it's very helpful actually, right? So any other question?
We have a question from the general YouTube audience. Hello, Mr.
Mhm.
Haziq. I have a question. While AI can make teaching more efficient, how do we maintain the human connection and emotional support that only teachers can provide?
Well, it depends on what do you mean by the usage of AI. Okay, some AI is just to make your life easier, more efficient. You could also argue that you could make a whole video out of AI without even interacting with your student. Yes, that's one thing. But realistically, in Malaysia, we are not there yet. Okay, we are still using AI as tool to help teaching. So I don't think there's really going to be an issue about human connection with students and whatnot. Not really, because they are merely tools for you to use to make your life easier and more convenient. Okay. Okay, back to you, moderator.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Haziq, for the Q&A session. We will now move on to our final session. Um, okay. Let's welcome Mr. Ahmad Safwan bin Sulaiman, an academic lecturer and part-time educator. He has a deep interest in artificial intelligence and digitalization in education, as well as language arts and public speaking. His innovative approach bridges technology and language learning, making education more engaging and future-oriented. Mr. Ahmad Safwan will explore how AI is expected to evolve in the coming years and its potential impact on the teaching profession, especially in shaping new pedagogical practices and supporting educators in continuous improvement. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Ahmad Safwan bin Sulaiman.
All right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Can you all hear me loud and clear? All right. So Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good evening, everyone, and selamat malam. Good night, everyone. So, fellow educators, before we proceed with the agenda, the final agenda of this evening, right? Let me remind you, this is something that is going to be a little bit challenging for a few in the audience, all right? Because this involves understanding the core components of why AI is being integrated into our education system, uh, into our education field in general. So I would like to start tonight's session. I mean, my session right now with reminding everyone about the digital education policy. Okay, so basically in general, digital education policy ataupun dasar pendidikan digital di Malaysia, alright, it's a commitment shown by the Ministry of Education Malaysia, alright, to transform the digital education landscape in order to produce a digitally literate generation that is competitive, alright. So basically, this digital education policy or DEP is aligned to various national agendas, alright. So basically, what the Ministry of Education or the Malaysian government in general, what are they trying to achieve from this digital education policy? First of all, they assess this scenario from the years before COVID-19. All right, during the COVID-19, if you all still remember, during the pandemic hit us very, very bad, it has led to the implementation of remote teaching and learning. All right, so the methods of teaching and learning has shifted from face to face to online and hybrid sessions. All right, even we can see the artifacts of online and hybrid sessions up till now. For example, like in the IPG, we have the hybrid sessions, we have the online lessons and all. So this is the continuation because the world is evolving, the technology is evolving, aligned together with the world evolution. With people talk about the IR 4.0, Industrial Revolution 4.0, and so many aspects of revolution and development all around the world will also align with the advancement and evolution in education. So we cannot deny the fact that digital technology, AI, AI tools, internet tools are going to be the mainstream, is going to be ubiquitous in our education system. So whether we like it or not, we have to equip ourselves as educators. We have to equip our students, our future teachers, our future educators, our future students, so that they are ready for the future. All right, there's a term nowadays they call it future proof.
Mr. Safwan, sorry for bothering you. Have you uploaded your slide?
It's okay. I'll show you.
Okay, okay.
Okay. All right. So going back to that digital education policy. So DPD or Dasar Pendidikan Digital Malaysia is the pillar of what are we discussing today. All right. So just to highlight a few things in the DPD, I will go on later. But then, as I mentioned earlier, this session will become a little bit dry, a little bit challenging for all of you. So I would like to welcome everyone to join my session here on Wayground. Share the screen with you. Okay, so you can go to Wayground right now. Can you see the Wayground on the screen? Okay, great. Okay, so the future of AI in education there. All right, please join there. You can enter joinmyquiz.com and enter the code 037986, or you can just scan the QR code there. I can enlarge the QR code for you. All right, we don't have much time, so I will give this about 1 minute, and or at least we have like 10 participants to go, or maybe I'll just leave the QR code later for you to join. So just join. Okay, this is not gonna be there won't be any prize at the end of the session, but then yeah, trust me, this session will be more meaningful if you join the Wayground session. Thank you. Okay, we already have about 13 participants right now. I will just click start, and then I think the link or the code will appear on the top of the screen, so you can just join in later. All right. So the future of AI in education, from co-pilots to conscious classrooms. Okay. So this is the sixth trust. Okay, in English it also called as trust. Sixth trust Dasar Pendidikan Digital (DPD) by the Kementerian Pendidikan, Jabatan Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia. So the first one is Move It Faster Digital. Trust number 2, Pendidik Competent Digital. This applies to all educators viewing and watching this session right now. And then number 3, Budaya Kepemimpinan Digital Berwawasan. Number 4, Pengupayaan Infrastruktur dan Infrastructure. Number 5, kandungan digital berkualiti. Dan number 6, rakan strategik yang committed. In any education system, whether it's in primary, secondary, or tertiary, right, we have these stakeholders, right? We call them stakeholders, the parents, teachers, collaborators, funders, right? The one forking out the money for the advancement of the education system there. So all these are strategic partners, committed strategic partners. Okay, so all these are the pillars or the trusts. So that how are we going to shape the future of our country here? Because we are going to help our future generation so that they are ready for the future. Okay. So if Tun Mahathir was still in the classroom, his invisible hand wouldn't build highways, all right, like he used to. It built auto marking dashboards in your Google Classroom. Okay. So please answer this question. When you hear in education, what's your first emotion? Excited, cautious, overwhelmed, or skeptical? Okay, you feel very, very excited to know more. Alright, I'm pretty sure after the sharing by Mr. Hanif, by Mr. Haziq earlier, many of you have become so enthusiastic about exploring the different tools shared by those experts. Okay, so probably some of you feel excited. Some of you might feel cautious, like, okay, what's this going to help me? How is this going to help me? How is this going to be helpful in my practices? So how is it going to be, how can it affect my practice as a teacher? How is it going to affect my sanity as a teacher? Or are you going to feel overwhelmed by it? Right? So just going to view the responses there. Answer the questions there. All right, so 10 of you felt excited, a few felt cautious, overwhelmed, and skeptical. Yes, I understand. Some people will feel skeptical about the tools. Okay, we are human. We need the human touch, as mentioned by the speakers and in some of the questions earlier. Yes, it is okay to feel all these feelings because all these feelings are connected to the pillars of Dasar Pendidikan Digital Malaysia. All right, and tonight we will zoom in. I don't want to highlight so much, but I would like to talk about 3 trends that how are these trends are going to shape the pillars in DPD in the real classroom settings. All right, so trend number 1, teacher become the co-pilots end-to-end. All right, imagine the context in school. All right, imagine that teachers, whether you are teacher trainees or teachers working in school or lecturers, imagine that you are planning lessons. All right. So, when someone asked earlier how AI can reduce the workload, so AI can act as a co-pilot to help you to design the scheme of work, differentiate activities for mixabilities, and even generate quick dashboards, like mentioned, like when you want to create the MCQ questions for the test, for the quiz. All right, or you want to create different questions for those who are struggling. But then the selection of the questions, all right, the generation of the questions come from AI, but the selection, the voice comes from you. That's how we want to humanize AI, right? Because in one survey or one test or one study conducted in the UK by the United Kingdom Education Endowment Foundation trial. All right, they conduct this trial among the teachers in the United Kingdom, and then they strongly suggested, urged the teachers to use AI platforms for planning, for lesson planning, to assist them in lesson planning, materials planning, or preparing the activities, worksheets, and not. All right. So based on the results of the trial, it helped them by 31% without losing lesson quality. All right. This is in the UK. And here's the kicker. Those who used the save time for one-to-one feedback saw the biggest learning gains. That means those who use the AI tools to help them to plan the lesson get the biggest learning gains. Now, I would like to ask everyone who joined this background session right now, I want you to tell me, I want you to choose, I want you to decide between engagement gain or time gain. All right, so which one is the biggest learning gain that the teachers get? Is it the engagement or the time? Have a look. which one is their biggest win? Is the time they get or the engagement they get? Give it a try, give it a go. Okay, we already got 18 responses there. So I'm just going to end it here. Let's have a look at the responses. Okay, so 4 answered time gained, all right, and the rest of you say engagement. So most of you would think that it is the engagement, all right, because it shortened time, so it reduces the time, reduces the cost, so teachers have the more ample time to engage with students, right? Okay, I'm not saying that it's wrong, but I'm saying it's neither. It's both. It's the time engagement. It's the teacher feedback time. All right. So AI itself, it will not improve learning. Okay. AI itself. Yes, I mean, what Mr. Hanif and Mr. Haziq have already shared previously, the AI tools can help you to, to improve speaking, to improve listening, improve all the language skills that you wish to improve. But then the tool itself will not help you, to improve learning itself. All right, because it improves what you can do with the time. And for teachers who use the AI tools to plan the lesson, to create the materials, right? Because they use the tools to create engagement with the students. For example, if you use AI tools to create crossword, yes. If you ask the AI tools to create a crossword puzzle, yes, they can create it within seconds. But then it is the matter how you distribute the task, how you use the task in the classroom that will create the engagement. It's not the engagement is not the AI tool itself that will bring the engagement into the classroom. It's how you use it. It's how you give the feedback. Okay. So efficiency means nothing if you have that extra minutes invested. If you use the tools to speed up the process of creating the worksheets, creating the handouts, but then you're not using it in feedback or giving reflection or providing empathy. For example, like you have shortened the time to create the task sheets, the worksheets, but then you create the task that one size fits all, right? But you didn't cater those students who need further guidance or scaffolding in the classroom. So this is what I meant here by teacher feedback time. Because the time save, yes, it is true. Engagement, how you're gonna get the engagement is from the feedback that you give with the extra time that you receive. Okay. Because of this, I would like to propose a framework where teachers and educators can use in order for them to choose or select and design the materials appropriate to their classroom context. So this is the AI risk management framework. Okay, so it's easier to remember as 3M's there. So the first one is map, context is recognized, and risk related to context are identified. I think for most educators and teachers, this is the fundamental steps in planning your lesson. Understanding the context, recognizing the context of your students, context of the DSKP, context of the curriculum that you want to distribute in the classroom. And then you measure, identify the risks, identify the needs and wants. And then you manage risk, prioritize, and act upon based on the projected impact. What kind of impact that you wish to get from the outcome of the lesson itself. Okay. So the future isn't AI replacing teachers. So teachers, if you are worried, training teachers out there, if you're worried that AI is going to replace you, my definite answer will be no. Because if you know how to pilot the AI, then you don't have to worry about AI taking over the teacher education world. And then for the next one, all right, you can also, I would like also propose this framework here, SAMR. All right, imagine that you go to Zeus Coffee. Okay, you go to Zeus Coffee, and then when you get the when you generate the activities or worksheets using ChatGPT or using Gemini, right? So first you can substitute you can use it like a direct change. You can just apply it directly to your classroom needs, or you can augment it. All right, using it as with a functional improvement. You can add latte. All right, you can improve it as latte. You can put milk or something. You can modify it. All right, significantly to apply to allow to accommodate the needs of your classroom, like making a caramel macchiato, or you can redefine, okay, creativity, like making a pumpkin spice latte. All right, so AI and teachers should act as co-pilot. So AI, you want to put the task of designing or differentiating the tasks or constructing the activities or planning, you want to put it to AI, fine, no problem. But teachers should have the autonomy, should have the power to select, to confirm, to iterate, to choose, execute, and examine the task provided by AI. Okay, then you can say that AI tools can be helpful. Then you can say that AI will never take over the humanity, right? Because you always have the control. People always say that AI doesn't have the feelings, doesn't have the human touch. This is what I mean, right? This is what the people mean by that. AI may not be able to confirm because they don't understand the context of our classroom. But we can confirm, we can iterate, we can choose. Trend number 2, assessment of process, not product. All right, imagine a situation, whether it be in IPG or in UiTM or in USM, UKM or in schools. All right, let's say the story begins with a student submits a flawless essay in 10 minutes, or maybe they submit, let's say Mr. Harraz, the moderator himself, submit the first draft in less than 2 days. All right, suspicious, isn't it? But when you ask him to open his document history, his research history, if you see 10 drafts, you see him collaborating with friends, you see him having the drafts written or typed on Google Docs and chat with the friends, comment and feedbacks that. You have the list of ChatGPT prompts that he used and the notes that he produced. Do you consider that as a successful product? Or do you assess it separately or differently? Do you consider him as learning? All right. So what I'm trying to say here is, in my perspective, that is not considered as cheating. That is learning itself. That is the shift that we are going to look into in the next 5 to 10 years. Because learning is not merely just what is written on paper. It's not merely assessed on quiz or tests or exams or assignments or continuous assessments. It is the shift is from product, the end product, to the process of learning. Right? So teachers and educators, we have to move our mindset. We have to move this paradigm perspectives from detecting errors to designing integrity, trustworthiness. Okay. So imagine the students writing. Okay. So we assess their draft histories. We use the interaction logs. We look at the chats they have. So look at these rubrics here. Okay, this is the first rubric here. So consider this as rubric A. We have the criteria: excellent, good, fair, poor, and then the criteria: disease, organization, grammar, and mechanisms. This is rubric A, and this is rubric B. Okay. I'll go back to rubric A. I will keep this for about 5 to 10 seconds. Have a look. And this is rubric B. Okay, now between rubric A and which one teach them about integrity, authority of the writing? Or which one actually teaches the students about the quality that we want them to possess as learners? Okay, where we reach 10 answers, then I will move to all right, good. Just in here. Okay, so 3 answered A and 7 answered B. The answer is B. All right, because it analyzes, it evaluates and assesses the process rather than just the product. Because students learn integrity not through surveillance. All right, when you sit for the exam, when we sit for exam, I think teachers and educators out there, maybe you can relate to this. All right, after, and even teacher trainings out there, when you have memorized all the facts, and then when you sit for the exam, pen and pencil down, you start writing, and then when the moment it is announced the time ends now, you may leave the room, you forgot everything. Okay, what do you learn from that? Okay, you don't really learn this integrity, you don't really learn the structure. Okay, but then through this surveillance here, through this assessment here, you can learn the integrity, the authority. Okay, so it is another way of looking at it. All right, from passive learner. All right, from passive learner, like watching a video, attending a lecture. This is what happening right now at the campus, at the university. Students watch a lot of videos, they attend the lecture, they become passive, really passive learners. So we amplify this learning process to active learning. Right, we propose, we ask students to take notes, although independently. We tell them, okay, we are not going to tell you which one is important, but then you have to take notes, right? Highlight, underlining key concepts. So from passive to active, we tell them, okay, now you have to apply it, construct the learning, right? Investigate the question, right? Mind mapping, create, categorizing, analyzing, synthesizing, okay? And then interactive. So this is the top amplification of this assessment process. All right, discussion, conversation, to see the process of learning rather than the product itself. So AI didn't kill assessment, it made it more visible. Okay. Trend number 3, last but not least, all right, the AI literacy for all. All right. So in the Europe, okay, in the European country, students will soon learn AI ethics before they learn trigonometry. Because before they calculate, they will be calculating machines. All right. Why? What do I mean by this? Right? Because they need to iterate, they need to moderate whatever the outcome is from the AI tools they get. Right? Under the EU AI Act, beginning February 2025, recently, schools must ensure. I'm not saying universities or college, I'm saying schools. Schools must ensure all educators and learners are AI literate under the EU AI Act, right? So they should be able to understand capabilities, bias, limitations, and ethics. Let's ask our students these days. Let even ask our educators, teachers, and lecturers who probably they didn't claim they use AI, but secretly they use AI in the process of teaching and learning, in giving the lecture or tutorial task in the university on the campus. Okay, do they understand what are the capabilities of each AI tools they use? Did they understand the bias? Did they understand the limitation and the ethics? What are the do's and the don'ts? All right. For example, when we look at the social media like Facebook and stuff, all right, people upload different prompts how to generate certain photos, different posts or different contexts, different settings. Do they talk about ethics there? Did they talk about limitations there? They understand the capabilities, what the Gemini can do. The capabilities are limitless. They can generate almost everything. Given with the right prompt, with the right instruction, yes, they can generate almost everything. But then do they understand the bias? Do they understand the limitations, what they should do? Because the question that the students, teachers, educators, ourselves should equip ourselves before we want to start asking if AI will take over the world or AI will take over our job is not the question about can we do this or can we do that. The question that we should ask is why? Why we should do this? What happened if we do that? Right? So I propose this idea. I mean, Malaysia should mirror this under the dasar pendidikan digital. All right, so teachers should empower this themselves before they empower this to the students. So the 4 core modules of AI literacy: number 1, prompting and source literacy. All right, so giving the right question, giving the good questions, writing the better prompt, challenging the prompts itself, challenging the machine itself. Sometimes we get too comfortable working with AI, working around with ChatGPT and Gemini because one prompt worked, but it doesn't work all the time. All right, so we have to teach them, right? Always challenge yourself to give or to ask better questions, generate better questions, you can get better results. Number 2, bias awareness. All right, sometimes the results can be skewed, all right, over data that we give, like mentioned by Mr. Haziq earlier, because the data is dated back 1 year earlier. So probably they didn't really get information about what is recently happening to the country, or depending on the context of your questions, of your prompts. So the bias there. And then module number 3, data privacy and ethics. Okay, what should we do? Okay, like I talked about this with my students in classroom when I was teaching. There was one time I generated this one Marvel comic style image of them answering quiz in the class. Okay, and then towards the end, I asked them this: do you give me the consent of me taking your pictures and generate it into this? Do you know what happened when I upload your photo into the AI? And then you know what happened with the photo? None of them even bothered asking about it. So when I displayed the picture, we all had a good laugh because it was fun, because blah blah blah, because I just wanted to reduce the tension after answering the quiz. So we had a good laugh, but then we forgot about the ethics. We got the data privacy. So we need to teach them. We need to understand ourselves, the consent and protection. In Malaysia, the education about consent is not really given much attention by almost everyone: teachers, parents, educators, GOs and NGOs. We should give. And last but not least, the verification and fact checking, as highlighted, as mentioned multiple times by Mr. Haziq and Mr. Hanif earlier. All right, AI do make mistakes, so please check. All right, challenging AI outputs critically. I think this one is pretty easy. Which one is not part of AI literacy? Okay, just going to end here. It's running out of time. All right, so the answer is model parameter tuning. Okay, because like teenagers, like Aaron out there, okay, or Alifa out there, right? When you use TikTok, do you change the model of TikTok, the model of the do you change the way that you post the picture or the video? All right, you don't do that. Okay, you don't, because it's in coding. All right, so AI literacy is in coding. It's about consciousness. So when Mr. Haziq mentioned about, like, we can teach AI, all right, we can educate, we can train them. Okay, so in conclusion, all right, to wrap up this session tonight, okay, 3 AI in education transformative trends. All right, we have the teacher and AI as co-pilot together. All right, so competent digital educators on strong digital foundations. Before we want to start teaching, before we start to implement the DPD in our classrooms, in our campuses, in our society, we need to empower ourselves with digital foundations first. Before we want our students to use Canva, we need to use Canva. Before we want our students to start using ChatGPT for the assignments, we need to use the ChatGPT for assignments, so that we understand, oh, if I know how to do this, my students might know how to do this too, so we can find the way out, their way out. So I know how to tackle this issue if it happens in the classroom. Okay, and then assessment of process. When AI helps us assess the process, we don't just wait to work, we understand the growth. All right, so learning isn't just the matter of quiz, exam, and test. It's not the matter of the product you produce in the end of the journey. It's the process that you went through. It's the process uh, that you suffer, that you enjoyed probably. Okay, and then last but not least, the AI literacy for all. AI literacy is not coding. AI is only as ethical as the people who run it. As mentioned by the previous speakers, AI is just a tool. Imagine like you are traveling from Johor to Kuala Lumpur. All right, there are so many means to achieve to reach the goal, to reach the destination. All right, so driving cars, taking the planes, taking the bus. So AI is just like one of the transportation. Okay, so whether you want to use it ethically, you want to be the lane hogger on the highway. So it's up to you. It's up to you whether you want to use it wisely, you want to use it with ethics, you want to use it with proper consent. It's totally up to you. So how can we achieve all this? All right, as mentioned by the previous speaker, all right, professional development is essential for all teachers. So I skip the number one and number two first. I go to number three, teacher professional development and measurement. So teachers, uh, for English teachers, generally in school, I'm not sure about primary, but secondary school, we do have like the LET, the LED session every Friday or every Thursday, where we sit down, talk about scoring, rubrics, and stuff. So let's sit down and talk about, okay, how can we use ChatGPT to design exam questions? Yeah, I know some people will have this skeptic thoughts like, isn't that cheating? Or isn't that this in what if, what if, what if? Too many what if will hold you back. Trust me. But because like whether we like it or not, AI or technology, digital advancement will become part of our life, part of a society. So whether we like it or not, we have to train ourselves. So give us the micro-credential training, like how to engineer the right prompts, right? How to write better questions so to get the results that we want. But then with monitor, right? We use a dashboard to monitor the process. And then for pedagogy and assessment, I showed you SAMR progression and ICAP design earlier. And most importantly, the governance and safety. In school, in any education academia, all right, we need to form the AI task force from the academic lecturers, the IT sections, counseling students from top down. Everyone should be involved in this, so we understand what are the consequences, what are the repercussions that we have to face if this AI is going to be the essence of teaching and learning in the academia itself. All right. So as lecturers, we have to understand this is AI is inevitable. Are we just going to close the door just because our students are using it, and then we consider them, oh, the students are taking an easy way out from that, or we are going to take advantage of this technology and then amplify and increase the techniques, the methods that we use in the classroom. IT management, right? Counseling. What if our students face several challenges, and then the counselors have to step in, and the student himself? You have to understand the ethics. You have to understand the proper prompting strategies, right? So that we can get the maximum, optimum uh, output from the AI tools that we want to use. Not earlier until now. In one word, what should AI in education feel like? Maybe you want. I'll just see if we can get like one or two. If we cannot get one, I'll just skip this part. Oh, we got one. Okay, I'll just end it here. Interactive. So AI is interactive. Okay, so I think that's all from me. Thank you very much for sitting through together with me. This has been a very fruitful lesson, for a very fruitful session for everyone, for me myself. Thank you so much, and I hope you all get something from all of us. And I'll pass the microphone back to Mr. Harraz. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmad Safwan, for the insightful and forward-looking presentation. The idea of AI complementing rather than replacing teachers truly captures the essence of educational innovation. Let us now proceed with the final Q&A session for tonight, with the first question being from Mr. Faris Azri Choi. Hi, Mr. Safwan. The question is, how can AI be integrated into classroom teaching to personalize learning experiences while still maintaining the teacher's human touch?
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Faris, for that one. I think the question is a bit mm, generic. Okay, but again, thank you very much, Mr. Faris. So, how can it be integrated while maintaining the teacher's human touch? Again, we create it. We are the master of AI because AI is a creation of. I mean, yes, everything is a creation of God, but then yeah, the human hands created. So we have the control of it. We have to take control. We have to take control of the prompts. We can take control of everything. Just like like I mentioned earlier, the prompting itself is so powerful that it can produce different outcomes, different results, sometimes unexpected. So depending on how you produce the prompts, how you generate the question, then that is how you humanize the AI. And then how you want to maintain the teacher's human touch in the classroom. When you say can be integrated into classroom teaching, first of all, ethics, okay, the boundaries, the guidelines. So students in the classroom, they need to be educated. Teachers need to be educated themselves first. So as teacher trainees, teachers, everyone, we need to keep ourselves updated with all the ethics, with all the guidelines that we need to follow, the consent, like taking pictures and sharing and uploading it on AI. Can we do that? Getting consent, and then questioning each other. Questioning is something that is lacking among students anywhere these days. All right, like for example, like in the classroom, I I rarely see teachers or lecturers give. I mean, teachers and educators, they give the opportunity, the space for students to ask questions, but I am not really sure why it didn't happen. So if didn't happen in the classroom physically, face to face, how could it happen online on AI? So the practice of asking questions should start physically, face to face. So instill this culture of challenging each other's with your thoughts, with different perspectives. So you can start challenging that, move that into the AI platform there. So ethics from face to face setting into online setting. Thank you. And then I think there's one from Jayashri.
Okay. Another question is from
Mhm.
Jayashree Jayakumaran. Hi, Mr.
Mhm.
Safwan. Are there any innovations or upcoming technologies that could overcome current AI challenges in education?
Okay, are there any innovations or upcoming technologies? Okay, interesting. Uh, this is a very tough question, but for me, if I have to answer this, I would say let's go back to uh, RI, real intelligence, our own intelligence. This is the most powerful. Brain is the most. Our mind is the most powerful technology that any that none no human can ever come up with, can ever compete with. Right? We have what differentiates us between us and animal is we have mind. We can process our thoughts. We have logics. AI maybe they have the artificial logical process based on what we train them, but they cannot have the same logical skills that we human possess. So if you ask about innovation that could overcome the challenges, I think you have to look at what are the challenges in education that we are talking about. If you're talking about like probably what Mr. Haziq highlighted earlier about teachers being self-loathing about whether the AI is going to take over. Well, after the previous presentation, I person to be honest, few before I came into the IPG system, I was very skeptic with the AI. I really think that AI is going to, take over the world, just like the movie Terminator. But then when you start, it's like the water confidence activity. The moment you get into the water, you feel like, there's nothing wrong about it. You just give it a try, and then you have your mind. You can process your thoughts. You can find a way out. You can identify the challenges and try to, overcome it yourself. But if you want an answer, you want a definite answer about any innovation or technologies that could overcome current AI challenges in education, I would say no. Thank you.
For our final
Alright.
question today, we will have our question from the audience.
Okay, so a great elaboration from Mr. Safwan. So my question is, this question relates to students' cognitive development. So my question is, could heavy reliance on AI in teaching reduce students' critical thinking or creativity? And if so, what practical step can educators take to prevent that?
In teaching or in learning?
How about both? A little bit of both.
Okay, a little bit of both. Okay. Over reliance of AI. Thank you very much for that question. Okay. Over reliance and how can we overcome that for teaching and learning? First of all, personally myself as an educator and as a learner myself, I will always set the boundary set. I will tell myself that AI is just as transport, getting me from point A to point B. As long as it gets me to point B from point A, the relationship ends there. Okay, it is not going to control me. It is not going to take over my life or take over any decision that I'm going to make, because for example, as teachers, we have the curriculum, we have the DSKP. Lecturers in the IPG, we have the MK, we have the Malama courses and all. All right. So we have these clear goals that we want to achieve at the end of the semester or at the end of the year. So when we set the goals clearly, when we have the clear target of what we want to do, that means we are clear with what we are going to get, we what we will expect from the AI to generate the outcome. So let's say we want to generate a lesson. Let's say you enter the prompt, generate a lesson plan, a grammar lesson plan for year 5 kids, blah 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 blah, understanding proposition, something like that. So if you give that, generate the lesson plan. So ultimately AI will give you the lesson plan. But then, what kind of lesson plan they will give you? Whether it will be suitable to your context, whether will it be applicable to what you want to achieve, and whether it will help or hinder your process. So going back to your question, how to control this phenomena or this scenario here, I think it all goes back to you as a human. It all goes back to us as a human, because we are in control of what we want to do in the classroom. We are in control with the prompts that we want to we give to the AI. Okay, because if you understand that AI works based on our prompting, then you will understand that basically AI is our slave. They will just follow exactly what we ask them to do. If we ask them to do, hey, can you please generate recipe for me? Then they will generate recipe for you. So if you want them to tell them what you want them to do for you, you are in control. When you feel that you are the master of AI, you are in control of it, then you shouldn't let them to control you. I think what you are trying to say that you are being over reliant, because like sikit-sikit lah AI, generate question AI, generate question exam question AI, generate worksheet AI, everything has to come through AI. It goes back to what you want to achieve. Let's say if you want to generate the worksheet to make your life easier, so you have extra time to give feedback, to generate the task to use the time for other things, for more other things, because like in IBG we have something called differentiated learning, okay, pembelajaran terbeza. So you create one worksheet, then you apply for everyone. Yes, it is doing the job that you want, but then if you use AI, okay, generate worksheet for seven, for 10 students with this difficulty, this difficulty, this difficulty. So it's making your life easier. Then, as I mentioned before, the benefits is not just about, it's not about the time gain, it's not about the engagement gain, it's about the time that you get to give the feedback. How do you use the time? So again, it's all related back to the goal that you want to do. If you want to, if you let the AI to take over your life, then it will take over your life. But then if you use AI just to help you, with you to generate stuff, make your life easier with the stuff, with some components in your life, then possibly it is not going to take over your life. It's not going to take control of whatever that you are trying to do. I hope that answers. We have one more.
So the final question for today's Q&A session from Halifa MJ. Greetings, Mr. Safwan. Do you think AI will ever replace us teachers in the next 5 to 10 years?
As I mentioned multiple times earlier, it will never replace us teachers in the next 5 to 10 years. Why? Why? First, yes, uh, even long before we have AI, we have YouTube, we have Khairul Amin sharing recipes. Why do we still have culinary classes? Why do we still have cooking classes? We have like preachers, ustaz sharing the lectures on YouTube, on TikTok. But why do still people come for lectures or sermons at the masjid? Because they need that human. They need to feel humanized. All right. So if you feel that, I don't know, probably this is me, the old school me talking. So whenever I want to experience something, whenever I want to learn something, cooking, for example, when I want to learn a recipe, I learn it more effectively from a person rather than learning it from, uh, from a written recipe or from a recipe book, from online recipe. Why? That is the example of evidence why we still need teachers. I hope that answers. Thank you. Wow.
Sorry, Mr. Safwan. I think this would be the last question for today. Any
Hopefully.
further question would be closed due to time constraint.
Yeah. So
So the question from Mandip is, hello, Mr. Safwan. Will AI be part of the new curriculum in Malaysia? If yes, what are the main challenges? If no, why not? Even though it can help students to learn better.
thank you. Okay. I forgot to mention about this issue. This the main challenge of implementation of this digital education policy or DPD. The the main stumbling block right now is the infrastructure. Okay, although although it is undeniable for people to see that AI is ubiquitous, is everywhere right now. People with smartphones, we see them everywhere at Mama, at Wan Utama, at Kluang Mall, at BP Mall, at Cowboy Supermarket and all. Right? But then, as I think, if I'm not mistaken, whether is it Mr. Hanif or Mr. Haziq earlier, they mentioned something about uh, it will. This technology hasn't reached some parts of the country yet. Okay, probably not in Sarike, Sarawak, or maybe not in Limbang, or maybe not in Pengkalan Tere, Keluang Johor, or maybe not in Gua Musang, Kelantan. Right? So until this issue is being not issue, this challenge is being rectified by the government, then we have a bigger issue talking about whether what are the main challenges. right? Even so, if we have reached to the point of time where everyone is using phone, everyone has the access to internet, everyone has the access to AI, so yes, definitely it will be part of the new curriculum in Malaysia. I'm not really sure whether it's going to be a new subject, but I will. I can say that I'm confident to say that it can be uh, inculcated whether subtly into the curriculum, like through teaching English, we can like teach them the language of prompting in the classroom, how to use the AI tools promoted by suggested by Mr. Hanif and Mr. Haziq earlier to use in the classroom. So that is how to utilize the AI in the classroom. It will be the way of doing it, and the main challenges definitely the infrastructure itself, the accessibility of uh, the equity of internet and AI itself in the classroom. We haven't really reached that level yet. Until we reach that level, then probably we have to think about something else before we come up to the challenges. Thank you.
Okay. As we come to the end of our sharing session, let us take a moment to reflect on the key points from tonight's webinar briefly. We have learned that artificial intelligence offers vast opportunities to enhance education, from improving personalized learning experiences to supporting teachers in classroom management and assessment. However, as our speakers have highlighted, we must also be mindful of challenges such as ethical concerns, data protection, and ensuring equitable access for all learners. With careful planning and responsible use, AI can serve as a powerful tool to complement teachers and empower students towards 21st century learning. On behalf of the organizing committee, we would like to extend our heart we would like to extend our heartfelt appreciation to all three speakers, Mr. Hanif bin Nor Azahar, Mr. Haziq bin Hamed, and Mr. Ahmad Safwan bin Sulaiman for sharing their knowledge and expertise tonight. Not to forget the Honorable Encik Muhammad Amiduddin bin Abu Bakar, Director of IPG Campus Tun Hussein On, the Honorable Dr. Muhammad Zairi bin Hussein, Deputy Director of IPG Campus Tun Hussein On, the esteemed Cik Nini Johara binti Johari, Head of Department English Language Department, IPG Campus Tun Hussein On, the respected Encik Zulnazmi bin Muhammad Zawi, Course Coordinator English Language Department, IPG Campus Tun Hussein On. We also like to thank all the committee members for the hard work and thank you for all participants for your attention and active engagement throughout this session. We hope this webinar has given you valuable insights into how AI can shape the future of education in Malaysia and beyond. Once again, thank you for everyone for joining us and we wish you a pleasant evening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and goodbye.